Bro, whoever told you that knowledge is power has been lying to you. We probably heard this saying that knowledge is power in like school and growing up from our parents or something like that. But if you really think about it, the acquisition of general knowledge and a large amount of general knowledge does nothing for you unless you really want to be like a contestant on Jeopardy or something like that, where you just need random tidbits of knowledge, or if you're spending all your nights at the bars for trivia night, that might help you there. But aside from that, knowledge does nothing for you. It's essentially like a metaphor of a high horsepower car in a garage, like a Lamborghini just being parked there in a garage. It's potential power, but just the accumulation of general knowledge and a bunch of general knowledge does literally nothing for you. So the real power in applying knowledge is directing it towards some sort of set objective or some goal. And that's when the power of knowledge is really realized. You don't, like I mentioned in that metaphor earlier, like just having the power, or not the power, having the knowledge of anything, of just general information, does nothing for you. But if you can apply certain knowledge towards a definite goal, like if you're starting a business, say you're Andrew Carnegie, and you're trying to figure out how to operate a steel mill and create the biggest monopoly, I guess, of steel in the world, you're going to have a bunch of knowledge. But do you think Andrew Carnegie really knew all of the intricate processes of what it takes to create steel and how to ship it and how to distribute it to a whole wide group of people? He definitely did not know how to do all the intricacies there. The power that he had was being able to figure out what knowledge he needed to acquire in order, and how to like organize these people that had that certain type of knowledge. So like I said, he definitely didn't have all the knowledge to do every single piece of the process in his steel business, but what he did know how to do was gather all the people who knew the pieces of the puzzle essentially, and he was the person who was able to put the pieces together. And just because you're not the person, like the fact of the matter is you're not really going to be able to be that person. It's a lot harder to run a one-man show than it is to have a whole bunch of talented people who are really good at one certain thing, get them all together and direct them towards a common goal. So just, you don't have to be the smartest person. You don't have to know how to do every single thing in a business per se, but the person who also has the ability to gather these people and direct them towards a certain goal has a lot of power as well. And he is also entitled to the great riches, because even though he might not be as smart as the person who's like, I don't know, like a software engineer, he might not be as technically smart and have all that knowledge. But if that person is able to see the vision, and that's why like CEOs and stuff like that and startup founders of successful companies are able to accumulate a lot of wealth as well. When you're like, oh, they don't really, what is their job? They don't even really do anything. They're just kind of running the business from above. Well, that's like why people criticize Amazon and stuff like that, is because Jeff Bezos isn't like doing those in the working conditions in the warehouses and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to justify his work conditions, because I haven't experienced it, and I'm sure they're pretty terrible with a company of that size. I'm sure Jeff Bezos isn't exactly able to control how, or maybe he is able to control the niceness of his working conditions, and he should be taking responsibility of that. But all I'm saying is that the reason why Jeff Bezos is getting paid however many billions of dollars he is, whereas if you're a warehouse worker on the front lines, while you are doing more physical labor and doing more taxing work as opposed to whatever Jeff Bezos is doing or was doing in his C-suite office, the person who is able to direct the knowledge and to harness all of that power, essentially, like gather all the different types of people that it takes in order to run a successful business, is also entitled to that wealth, because alone, without that figurehead of the person who's able to direct everyone towards the common goal of setting up Amazon or whatever, that business would not be anything. And those individual people, like the software engineers and the marketing, I don't know, the marketing researchers and all the advertisers, all of them independently would never be able to like come to that same success if they combine their efforts and their talents in order to work for that one common goal of building Amazon to what it is, the biggest company in the world. So that's kind of just what I'm trying to say today, is that knowledge is not power. If you accumulate all the general knowledge in the world, you might be the best on Jeopardy, or you might be the best at trivia night, but that is not power. The real power comes in directing and applying that knowledge to some sort of common goal. So organizing the general knowledge needed to accomplish something. That is where the power comes from knowledge. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and remember to stay on target.